Hi, welcome. Welcome to SIT Graduate Institute in Brattleboro, Vermont, where extraordinary teaching, learning, and networking happens. We're here today to talk to you about our Masters of Arts in TESOL low-residency degree that is quite unique. SIT's TESOL program was one of the first ever started in the United States. We'll tell you more about how it works, why it's unique, and what you can do with it. My name is Mary Kay Sigda. I am a proud alumna of this institution. I am an adjunct faculty member and I'm senior admissions officer. And I'm with my amazing colleague, Dr. Leslie Turpin, who's the academic chair of the Masters of TESOL program and has been working here for about 30 years?
Off and on, yeah.
So, to get us started, we'll be talking about, as I said, how the program's unique and what you can do with it, and we'll learn a little bit more about Leslie. But if you have questions at any point, there's a great little sidebar on your right where you can type in your comments or questions, and we'll answer them as they come up. So, Leslie, you've been here for a long time. If I remember correctly, you're also a graduate of this institution.
I am. I was in the MA TESOL program in 1982. I was in MAT 14. And it was a transformative experience in my life, and I'm so thrilled to be part of passing that on to other teachers.
What's unique about it? Why is SIT's low residency program or TESOL program so unique?
I think there are a number of reasons. I think for me, it's a program that really focuses on the dynamic of learning and teaching in a really deep way. And students that come out of our program are engaged in that process of learning and teaching and engage in the communities in which they work to transform education. And I think that the process that we put people through here helps them to think about learning and teaching in a way that no matter where they go after they leave here, they are able to step into an unknown teaching situation or an unknown training situation or curriculum design and meet that challenge and meet it with integrity and with a real sense of the importance of learner autonomy and of engagement in community. And my belief is that it's really teachers who are going to change the world. That's where it all starts, in classrooms. And so...
So our specific degree, the way it works is we begin online, right, in June, every June, but we can stay home wherever we live and we can work our full-time job.
Exactly,
right?
And that is the beauty of this program. I think what we found, this particular program is in its 6th year. It builds off of our other low residency program, which didn't have an online component, but was in existence for 30 years. And I'll just say the program itself has been in existence for 50 years, and so it's really built over time, and it's been a collaborative development between faculty members who have come and left their mark. And so students are, so students come and they spend a short time on campus and then they go back to their jobs. And all the students in the program are working teachers. And so one of the real strengths of the program is the fact that everyone is in their context teaching. And they're bringing the experience of their work in their classrooms into the classroom that we share online or on campus. And so the experiential learning we found in this program is incredibly rich and incredibly deep because we're not creating these experiential experiences for students. They're in their experience and we're helping them to reflect on it, to learn from it, to learn from each other, to learn from the diversity of classrooms that they're from all over the world. So each person is really in a very different context with very different challenges. And so the cohort is together learning about their own cohort, but they're also teaching other people about their context and about the challenges that they have, and then sorting through all of that together. So it's been a remarkably successful program so far, and has really pushed us to new levels of thinking about experiential learning, which has been a cornerstone of our program since its inception, really.
You know, I was a TESOL teacher for 20 some years, and to think that I have to do a TESOL teaching degree online would make me a little bit nervous. But what I know about our degree is that you actually come here and for 3 weeks. We begin online, but then we come 3 weeks face to face. And what students tell me is that you really build community and connections, and they learn so much from you all and from one another, and then they go back and they carry on with their cohort as if it's a big virtual teacher's room. You know, hey, I've got problems with this, and do you know how to fix this pronunciation problem?
Yeah, that's exactly, I think, what happens. And, you know, truth be told, we were worried in the beginning. We didn't know it was 3 weeks long enough to really develop a community, and what are we going to do, and then they're going to go online. And so we really thought deeply about what are the things that have to happen when groups are together face-to-face, and work on active listening, on giving feedback, on developing these skills. And certain courses really lend themselves to face-to-face learning more than others. But, and so we're really building that community. But the online part, just like you say, it becomes then this learning lab that people are in, and they're drawing from what they've learned about each other when they're face-to-face. And so it's the synergy really between the face-to-face and the online component that have been the most exciting to us. And I just need to mention the heart of the program is really when the faculty goes out into the field to the students. We either faculty here or affiliated faculty that we have around the world will go to a teacher at their teaching site, spend 3 days with them, really embedded in their context. And we come not as experts, but as colleagues, because we're coming to your context. You know your context better than we do. You know your students. So we're coming in as another set of eyes, really helping you to sort through the challenges you face, trying to embody your goals and your beliefs and your values that you're developing in the program with the realities in your context. And so to have somebody with you for that period of time is such an amazing part of the program for us and for the learners, because it keeps us so real in our teaching, that we're over here in this land of perfection on this campus, and then we're thinking, oh, okay, this is what they're really up against. How do we bridge that? And so the students are really helping us to stay honest, I think, through our teaching and that relationship. And it really is, its purpose is to help people become better reflective practitioners. That's our real goal in that. And it's a real learning that goes both ways. And I think we may be the only program in the world that offers that.
So if I'm living in Poland, or if I'm living in Kazakhstan, or I'm living in India, a faculty member will actually come out and watch me teach in my context.
Yes.
And you'll observe me and give me feedback and go both ways.
Yes.
That's pretty extraordinary. I haven't seen that happen in another degree. And I can stay working full time, and I can visit gorgeous Vermont for 3 weeks.
Yeah, but could be better.
That's true. And if I could tell you all, if you go out and do your due diligence about the cost of a master's degree, they're not inexpensive these days, no matter where you look. And it doesn't matter if you're a European citizen, you're a non-European, a U.S. citizen, wherever you are over the world. There are a lot of Masters of TESOL degrees. Some of them are just online. Ours do a combination of both, and we've got an amazing price. We, as I like to say, we're a small boutique hotel, but this time school. You get amazing humans, amazing classmates, and really good development. And our price is probably as cheap as you'll find out there. So I encourage you to go online and have a look at it. And I bet you're all trying to wonder, well, what do people do with this degree? Okay, I need a master's. I've been teaching for a while. I want to do this. I want to do that. Leslie, what can we do with a master's in TESOL? Where are your students? Where are our graduates?
Well, first of all, we have 2,000 to 3,000 probably graduates who are out there in the world doing incredible work, and ranging from, we have one Peace Nobel Prize winner We have a presidential appointment at the Department of Education in the previous administration. We have university professors, people who've started their own graduate programs, people who have started teacher training institutes, some people who stayed in the exact same classroom for 30 years and have become embedded in their communities as agents of advocacy for learners in under-resourced areas. So, it's really, I think what is so valuable to me in the program is not just the program itself, but the fact that you're entering this network of people who have been through the program, who share this DNA about what teaching and learning is and what it can be. And that is a force to be reckoned with in the world. And so somehow being part of that, and alums hire alums because they know that they know how to think about teaching, and they know that they can go into a situation and do what is asked of them and do it with integrity. And so we keep hearing that from people. Send us an SIT grad, send us an SIT grad, because they have the confidence that people have gone through a process that will prepare them for meeting the unknown. That's what the world is really turning towards.
If you don't mind me interrupting you, we have a question.
Okay, great.
And so somebody wants to know, thank you for sending this to us, at what point, when do you do the observations? When do you go out to where they are? As we said, it's a 2-year program. You start online, you come here in July, and then you get yourself ready for
and
observation.
We'll assign you to a supervisor or an observer, and you then negotiate with them around, you try and make your schedules match up so that we're coming to observe you when you're not on vacation or whatever, when it makes sense, when you're not doing testing or something, and when the teacher isn't here teaching. So it's sort of, you work together, and sometimes it happens someone moves and loses their job or changes, and it just doesn't work out to do it during a particular period in the first year, and then we do it in the second year. So there's flexibility there, and we realize people are teaching in extremely different contexts with very different vacation schedules, and so we try and work around that, and there's certainly flexibility around that.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
So the first year.
It's usually the first year. Sometimes
first year.
people, because something happens either in their life or in their job, they put it off to the second year, but it's designed to happen in the first year.
Okay.
The other thing I should just say, which I don't know if you had another question. Did you?
No.
Okay. What happens is we have two cohorts running at a time. We have the new group. It's a 2-year program, and then when they come for their first summer here, the group is returning, and they've already been through the first year of the program. So you have them all on campus for this intense 3 weeks, and each cohort is doing their own program. But part of the second year program curriculum is for the second year students to put on a language conference. We call the Senanona Conference, for themselves and for the first year students. And so they develop an entire conference. It's meant to help them as professionals be positioned to be on a committee to create conferences. They do their own presentations modeled on TESOL, TESOL International Conference. So people leave with a product that they can take out to a conference, a proposal that they can share at a larger conference, but they do sort of a run-through here. And so what happens is the new students, not only they're learning their program, but they're also sort of seeing what's to come as it's embodied in the returning students who are on campus. And they serve sort of to mentor people about what's coming, what to expect, how to think about their learning. So I think that overlap between the cohorts, it also means that you have the richness of the diversity of 2 cohorts and the learning experiences of people who are not only in your cohort but in other cohorts as well.
I get a lot of students who ask me, given what's going on in the world right now, I really want to work with refugees and
you too.
Whether it be here in the United States, wherever they live. And I know you have a little bit of expertise in that, first of all, so I just want, maybe you could take a quick moment to talk about that. But secondly, also, what sort of work are our graduates doing in that area? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I came into the field. I was working as a VISTA volunteer in a refugee community. And my initial interest was really in refugees and cultural adjustment and everything intergenerational that communities go through when they're resettled here. And I sort of stumbled into teaching because teaching was such an intimate way to be part of that process. And it's actually now I'm taking a program at Harvard on trauma and refugees, and I'm really looking at it from the angle of what does it mean to be have a trauma-informed classroom. And what I'm learning is that a lot of clinical psychologists are really recommending take a language class, be part of a community, get out of your isolation, finding a job. All of those things are part of trauma healing. And so I'm starting to see that teachers have this role to play that's not just in teaching refugees, but they're part of the whole process of trauma healing. And so I personally am really passionate about that work. So students, I went from the program directly into a refugee camp and did teacher training, and as did many of the students who were in the program with me, and those are still options. There's certainly so many opportunities for that. Currently, one of our students who I'm about to go supervise in DC is working for a nonprofit that does tutoring with people in Syria and matching them up with tutors who are outside of Syria, and she's developing curriculum and doing tutor training. So there, and I think the reality is that as the number of displaced people around the world, I mean, where are we, 60 million plus, more and more that every teacher is going to be dealing with that, and every teacher needs to be prepared for that. So you don't really need to go looking for it anymore. It's everywhere. And teachers dealing with returning child soldiers, how do you integrate them back into classrooms? So there's so in public schools, you're dealing with that in refugee communities. Many people go into refugee resettlement programs where they offer ESL classes. Certainly we have students in Europe who are dealing in Italy with integration of refugees there. And so, it's certainly very, very important work.
Super, thank you. I don't know how much time we have, but I know you are out there really want to know how do you apply to us and what's necessary. And I'm glad you asked that question. So you just go online to our website, graduate.sit.edu, and there's a little apply now button. It's a very straightforward application process. You need 3 recommendations, your bachelor's degree transcripts, a couple of essays, and your resume. That's about it. And there is financial aid available. And it looks like we got another question, so I'm going to go back to my colleague, Leslie.
Okay, so I have to get my glasses to read.
Sorry.
Okay. What's the difference between TESOL and SIT and TESOL Cert? I'm not quite sure about the question, but I think, CELTA Cert. CELTA, I think we are a master's program, and I'm not sure CELTA Cert.
I probably can answer that.
Good.
Okay. Thank you for that. And I am assuming your question is about SIT TESOL certificate. Okay, so we have a TESOL 4-week, very intensive certificate that is run by SIT and our teacher trainers in various locations around the world. The CELTA, which is Certificate for English Language Teaching to Adults, is run through a variety of organizations. The most notably, or at least the one I went through, because SIT didn't exist, is through International Health. So they're just 2 different programs. They're both 4 weeks. They're both very intensive. I can get you your first teaching job. But in terms of maybe methodology or philosophy, there is a difference.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that, because the TESOL certificate program at SIT originally developed out of the MAT program, and it was part of the MAT.
Masters of Teaching.
Yeah, our Masters of Teaching program, and how we could take the philosophy that we had developed in this program over, at that point, I think it was 30 years. See the camera's just now moving to So that is what is maybe different, that the TESOL certificate is built on the principles and the values of our MA TESOL program.
Okay, great. So you want to know, is there funding? Yeah, there is. Yep. All you have to do is complete the application. If you have worked for any of our partnerships, you can find them online. It says affiliations. We will automatically offer you small scholarships. The total degree over a 2-year period is only $23,000. So that's about $11,000 each year. And then there's some small scholarships you pay over a period of 2 years in 6 installments. And yeah, if you apply and get admitted, if you're a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, you complete the FAFSA. If not, you don't have to complete anything, and we give you an award straight away. So I think that's it. Thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
And I'm waiting for your application.